All right, hey Facebook friends, I'm here with our dietitian Cassie Dimmick at Achieving Your Best, and I'm actually off this week spending time with my family, but we showed you last week some exercises with student athletes, and with back to school we wanted to talk about fueling kids, making sure they get enough to eat at school and then before those sports.
Yes.
So Cassie, look at this spread. Seriously, she's a whiz at putting together nutritious lunches. So I'm going to let you explain what you did here, because you have several options, and it's easy to prep in advance for the week too.
It is, and when you're busy, you really do need to prep in advance. I usually prep twice a week, and I actually have my kids help me with this. So if you're a parent, don't feel overwhelmed that you have to do all of this. We actually have fun together when we do it, and we're all in the kitchen, and we usually spend about 30 minutes. We have it dialed in.
Right.
So,
well, it teaches them.
Yes, it does.
They see what they're putting in there, and it helps them remember that.
It does.
So,
and also, if
great.
you let them pick some things too, it helps them be a little bit happier with what they're choosing. So
I agree.
Yeah.
They feel like they have some control over their lunch.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay, so let me talk about what the components are of a healthy lunch that you want to send to your kids, with your kids for lunch. And so you want to think about having a protein, and you can do a vegetarian protein. We'll talk about some of those options. You can do a meat, you can do lots of different things. You also want to have fruits and veggies. Over half of their food needs to be fruits and or veggies. And so that's a good,
so tough for me. I hear you say that, and I know that, and
it's hard, but I get, and then also you want to have some sort of healthy carb that's a fuel, and that can be fruit, it can be some other whole grains, and then I also like for them to have one treat.
Okay.
And so, and we'll talk about what my goals are always for those, and my kids get to pick whatever they want that we have in our house. So
in the house.
In the house.
Yes. Okay.
And so, so let's get started here.
So this one.
First of all, you want to have containers that are fun and very practical. And I love these. I got it at Target here in town, that they have different colors. And so if you have several children, sometimes I've had one take the other one's lunch, and those kinds of
color
things.
coded.
Yes, so you can actually have each of your kids have a color that they use.
Hold one up a little bit closer.
Yeah,
and they have these at, you said Target. I've seen versions at Hy-Vee and Walmart.
Yep, so they have lots of options. And so this one here, I have a wrap, and a lot of times kids get tired of sandwiches. And so this is a wrap, and these are the wraps that I love. They actually, they're whole grain, and they work really well for lunches, and I got those at Mama Jean's.
It's going to be reversed.
But yeah, you can also find these at Ruby's. I've seen those. So those are the wraps, and I have in here.
Open this up and you can tell people about it.
Yeah, so I have some deli turkey, and I'm going to hold this up back here, but this is a brand. You can do Applegate Farms, and this is actually from Mama Jean's.
I see that.
And so some deli meat is healthy. Also, Lucky's has some roasted turkey that they have in-house. So sometimes you just need a quick protein choice, and you want to choose a healthy one. So I have that and some lettuce in there, and you see over on the other side, I have my veggies.
Right.
And you want to get lots of colors, and I have a couple of clementines or cuties. Kids like those as well. And here is the treat. And for the treat, you want to have something that's around 10 grams of sugar or a little bit less. And so this has 11, so it's right on that edge.
On the line.
And that's what I would pick. And then don't forget a drink. So I let my kids pick out a water bottle. They don't need juice. They don't need sodas. So I let them pick out whatever water bottle they want for each year. And this is it's a swell bottle. It's a great size, and it keeps it really cold.
It is a good size.
And so that's something that you don't want to forget. Okay.
Can I move this to this one?
Yes.
Now this one is a vegetarian option. I noticed right away because I thought, where's the meat in this? And my kids would notice that right away.
And so this is a vegetarian option, and sometimes, again, some kids maybe don't like meat, or you want to just give them, maybe they are a vegetarian, so this is a great option, but you still need to get protein in. So I see a lot of vegetarian lunches that don't have any protein. So you can get some good protein from edamame, and kids really like that. The nice thing about this is you can take it straight from the freezer and just throw it in there at the beginning of the week, and then it falls out. I have some cherries, and then I have, this is one of my favorite cheeses, is Tillamook. You can find that at several grocery stores around. And some
sunflower seeds too.
That's actually pumpkin seeds.
Oh, pumpkin seeds?
Pumpkin seeds are really high in iron and omega-3s, and so those are really healthy. And if you have a tree nut allergy, typically you can do pumpkin seeds.
Oh, okay.
And then this, if you can see that, there we go. That's a good flatbread. So as far as healthy goes.
Now the treat, I don't know if you can see the treat in here. Is that like dark chocolate covering something? Is all I can tell.
So that is actually a piece of this Askinosie s'more bark
Oh,
that's
right.
new, and it
Local,
tastes, yes,
too?
it's local, it tastes
All right.
amazing, and so my kids really like that, and that's a good choice for them as well. Okay, so this is it's an almond butter sandwich, and a lot of kids love peanut butter, and you may not be able to bring peanut butter to school if they have nut-free schools,
Right.
but almond butter sometimes is acceptable, and it has a little bit more protein, and what I like to do is not add a bunch of sugar to it, so I put cinnamon on it instead of jelly, and that makes it taste sweet, and,
Right.
and almond butter is a little bit sweeter than peanut butter as well. And I use a local bread as well for this, a Bread Smith. This is a good option, so that's something that my kids like. And
these containers are great. So then you have some guacamole for the veggies.
For the veggies. And if you can cut your veggies in different ways, you see that they're sliced a little bit differently, that keeps it exciting for kids as well.
It's like a chip.
Yes. So
a healthy chip.
And this is another one of my favorite little treats is Ghirardelli. You can see that. Chocolate.
Those are good.
Those are good. Okay.
Those are all great choices. And you have a hot meal.
Yes, this is a hot meal. Sometimes my kids get tired of cold things, and so these little thermoses are great. And the way you keep them hot is to actually boil water, and I usually just do that either in the microwave or on the stove in the morning, and then fill it up with hot water, close it. Then I'll heat the food up that I have had left over from the night before, and in here I actually have some brown rice and some grass-fed beef with some taco seasoning.
Yeah.
And my kids love that.
And it stays warm through lunchtime?
Yes,
so you dump the hot water out and then put your food in there, and it works the reverse.
Yes, and then you seal it. And
the opposite of our...
Exactly, of those kinds of
things. The bugs that keep everything cold. Okay.
So I always have, some leftover rice or meat, and this is another option that my kids love, a little bit of sesame oil and coconut aminos to make it almost like a little stir fry or fried rice.
Yeah.
And you can do that with chicken or rice and heat that up, and that's something else that kids really enjoy.
And this is a good option to using soy sauce.
Yes,
because it's high in sodium.
Correct. And I almost forgot that I threw this in there as well in the rice.
Okay, yeah.
I don't
know if I can get it. There you go.
Yeah, some rice cauliflower, and the kids won't even really know it's there.
Yeah.
So
you're like,
yeah,
sneaking, and then she's sneaking.
But yes, but you still have to have some veggies and fruit on the side,
and
then I have a little, my kids like these as well, these Justin's, peanut butter.
Oh, yeah.
And these are about 7 grams of sugar a piece for the mini ones.
Just a matter of stopping after
After one, yes.
Okay.
So those are all the lunch options. Now let's talk about snacks.
After school snacks.
Yes, and so if you're on the go, one of kids like sweet things that are also cold, and so one of my kids' favorite things are frozen grapes. And these are some almonds, so you again want to have that protein in there too. So I'll actually make some of these up and put them in the freezer and just keep them so they're ready to go.
Yeah, it's like perfect.
Yes.
Too.
And then also another healthy one, and I make these sometimes in to-go cups and bring them with me if I'm going to go pick them up. This is yogurt.
I was going to say, acai bowl?
Acai bowl. Acai bowl. But that would be another good option.
Yeah.
This is just some Greek yogurt, and it has some frozen berries, and I threw a little bit of
oven. Yeah. Get a look at that while you get the
that's another good one. Yes,
which is an old school one kind of, but does not look really good.
Yeah, so my kids, this is my kid's favorite actually. So
this is why I know my son loves this.
Apple, peanut butter, and some cheese, and that's something that can get them through if they have a workout that we talked about working out, but if they have a workout that's an hour to an hour and a half, this is a great snack. If it's going to be 2 hours, 3 hours, because sometimes it is, I would actually add either a half a sandwich or a granola bar or something like that.
Right. Sometimes you have to leave early because you got to do something else before practice starts, and then you have that you're like losing that valuable time.
Right.
You're going to start getting hungry.
Exactly. So, and this is another easy one. It's a trail mix, and I actually have some pistachios and raisins, a few chocolate chips that are dark chocolate, and so they have less sugar, and then some roasted chickpeas. And so this is something that kids love to put together if you put measuring spoons out, and they can just make it themselves. And really for a trail mix, 1/4 of a cup of nuts, and then 1/8 of a cup of dried fruit, and just a little bit, like I said, of the dark chocolate chips go a long way.
That's great.
And they can keep this in the car, and it's relatively clean.
Right, relatively. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Cassie, thank you so much. One thing I wanted to mention before we go is post in comments if there's something you're concerned about with your student, with your child, if he or she plays sports, or one concern I've had is weight gain, or some kids have a high metabolism, so they just don't put on weight. Other kids may not be eating enough.
Right.
And
Yes.
so, if that's something that you're concerned about with your child, post your question or your comments about anything that we've done here, and Cassie
And
will.
I'll answer it.
Answer
So
that.
yes. And one last thing before we go, I just want to really encourage you to spend some time and effort on this and teach your kids, because I go and have lunch with my kids, and sometimes it's people have a bag of Doritos and a hot dog weenie and some Oreos and some
Yeah.
chips. I mean, it's just, and that's all they have. So
Right.
at the very least, try to have some balance and spend the time, because I know I have been there in the morning and you have 5 minutes to throw something together. So having a plan and doing it ahead of time really helps your kids stay on track, and it's
Right.
a lot less stressful as well in the morning time. So
And you'll notice that you're not doing the last minute drive through. There still will be times,
there
but it'll
are.
minimize
Yes.
that.
And that should
Yeah.
be the exception. That should not be what's happening every day. And I'm a big proponent, like I said, of kids doing it, but this is a great time for you to spend some time with them, and then also to teach them how to eat healthy.
Right,
So.
we're their role models.
Yes.
All right, Cassie, awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys next week.